Good evening, everybody. How you doing? Happy Monday. Long time no see, about a week. Hope everybody's doing well. Hope you had a good weekend. Hope sales have been decent. Fighting a little bout of strep that I picked up earlier in the week, but it's in, I should say the end of last week. It is early this week, right? It's Monday. End of last week, middle or end of last week, but I'm much better. I got my antibiotics. I'm on day 3 and feeling much better already. So excuse if I sound a little bit hoarse. That's why. But hope everybody's doing well. Otherwise, I feel fine, to coin a phrase. How you doing, Jeff? Welcome aboard. What's up, CJ? Welcome as always. Thank you. Hey, Cameron. Hey, how are you? Hi, Jim. Hey, Mark. Hi, Karen. Great to see everybody. Yeah, so apologies again. That's why I missed Monday, just the throat going, or Friday, throat going. But I do feel much better, so we should be good to go. Back is doing well. And we hit the road again on Thursday night out to Indiana, and then Cleveland area, and then Connecticut. So a little 3-day concert swing over the weekend that really takes about 5 days because of the driving involved. But it should be cool. I can't wait. Hey, Blue Feather Ephemera, how you doing? Again, check out Blue Feather Ephemera over on YouTube. Love the videos. Really does a nice job with the print ad stuff. Good evening, Keith. How you doing? Speaking of Cleveland, looking forward to meeting. I don't know if I should say that, but I guess we could say that, right? I heard that he's going to be attending the show, so that should be a lot of fun. I can't wait for that. And we hit the road on Thursday evening. Hi, Lisa. How you doing? Welcome aboard. So this has to go by Thursday. It will, because it's already feeling remarkably better. I started the antibiotics on Saturday night. So anyway, only big news here in my main store that we talk about all the time with the ephemera stuff is I'm kind of back on the postcard thing again. I took a look at all the postcards I had scanned that I haven't listed yet, and there's still thousands that I haven't scanned yet, but I have a couple of thousand that I did scan, and decided to start just blowing them out, listing them. They're all pretty cheap. They're all like $7.99, $8.99 postcards, but again, a volume game is the postcard game, so you list, you sell, as someone once said, and I decided to start just banging out some postcards, kind of in addition to everything else I do, where I was really emphasizing the print ads in recent months, and I still continue to do so. But just to try to get that number down of the scanned stuff, I want to get rid of the stuff I have in my computer for months and start listing them. So I started that. I think I have like 100 ready to roll using 6-bit. I just listed a handful, but I have about 100 locked and loaded to probably probably get listed right after the show, as a matter of fact. What's up, Enzo? How you doing? Welcome aboard. One of the coolest little faces you'll ever see. The Fonz, sure. How you doing? You will be there. Very cool, man. I can't wait to see you. It'll be a lot of fun. Is the weather supposed to be nice? I didn't even check. Probably should have checked. But I know it's chilly over here. I'm sure it's going to be chilly over there. It's going to be like in the 40s all week for some stupid reason. After we were basking in 70s and 60s, now we're in the 40s all week. Back to winter. The last gasp of winter, these last few days of winter. Spring starts on Friday, I think. Thursday or Friday. So can't wait for that. And yeah, that's the big news, is just the push to get my postcards listed again. Other than that, nothing really new in my world as far as the ephemera stuff. My clothing site store is doing pretty well. I'm excited about that. I've been nurturing that because that's kind of from the ground up. And that's it, everybody. Have a great night. I'll see you on no. I won't see you Friday, though, because as mentioned, we'll be on the road. So maybe we'll do a Thursday night listing show. I know everybody likes, including me, the print ad stuff. So I will load up some print ads for a Thursday night show, if that's okay with all you guys. Be delighted to do some print ad stuff. Tonight, I'm just still battling this, so I didn't want to get into, talking as much as I usually would, like during a listing show. Just figured we could chat a little bit and say hi and see what's going on and check in on everybody. And we'll prepare a show for Thursday. We'll do some print ads. You haven't looked that far ahead. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. All of a sudden, it got really cold. It can't be as bad as when we were just out there in January. Let me just tell you, when it was 5 degrees and hey, 61 there, 32 tomorrow morning. Yeah, exactly. Temperatures just dropped off the table here as well. Good to see you, man. Sounds good. Thank you, Karen. Appreciate it. Yeah, we'll do that. So we'll just hang out tonight. Let me know what's going on with you guys. How you doing? How was your weekend? Sales doing all right? It's only March, but I've seen, I watch videos just like you guys do of other resellers, and a lot of people are already starting to spread the fear about the summer slowdown. It's, inevitable and all that, but, I'm not too worried. I don't think you guys can tell me if you agree. I sort of believe that the ephemera thing isn't as vulnerable to summer slowdown. It's kind of an all year round thing. There's not really a seasonal element other than seasonal cards. I'd imagine Christmas cards might do better in fourth quarter, but as everybody knows, the cards sell all year round. There's Christmas collectors, Halloween collectors. Obviously, we just passed St. Patty's Day, but you got Easter coming up in just a couple of days. Actually, like less than 2 weeks. So if you have any Easter cards or Easter ads, get those up right away. Let's see if we can kind of, take advantage of the opportunity that presents itself with Easter coming in the end of March this year, very early. But yeah, summer slowdown I think is much more impactful on clothing, obviously seasonal clothing, and a lot of other niches. But good thing about the ephemera is it's sort of shielded from that stuff for the most part. So I'm not going to buy into the whole fear about summer slowdown. Just keep listing. Sales stink. Is that right? Sorry. Well, there you go. That sums it up too, right? Yeah, I have to admit in the ephemera, I'm going to have to kind of designate. We'll just talk about this channel is kind of built on ephemera, so I won't keep going back and forth with other stores. But my main store is, it's not doing great, to be quite honest. It's just been kind of quiet, But I just, I'm hoping that by injecting a couple of hundred postcards in, at least 100 a day, like I was doing a few months ago, that really does kind of get the engine running, and you start, selling some cards every day again once you start listing them every day. I haven't done an end and sell similar in donkey's years. I have not done an end and sell similar. In lieu of that, what I've been doing is grabbing a population of items. Let's say it is the print ads, right? 3,800 print ads, something like that is what I have listed right now, I think. What I've been doing, and I've heard it's pretty much the same impact, is just modifying. And I'm sorry, this thing covers my face now. Nobody wants to miss my face. The 3,800 or so, I can do 2,000 at a time as opposed to doing it until someone's only 200. So I'll do an edit and I'll raise the prices 10%, or I'll lower the prices 5% or whatever. And apparently that has a very similar impact. I'm not saying it's as impactful as end and sell similar, because you don't get a new listing number, obviously, but tweaking those, the photos, titles, and pricing supposedly has the most impact as far as placement and kind of rejuvenating stale listings. So that's what I've been doing in lieu of the end and sell similar thing. I've been taking my two biggest products by a mile are postcards and print ads. So I take those, nice couple thousand each, boom, go up 5%, go down 5%, whatever. And, I definitely see that there's a reaction to that almost instantly. Even if you go up, it's funny. Even if you go up in price 5%, it's just that change is enough to kind of get, like I said, a rejuvenation of your listing. And suddenly there's eyes on it again, which is ultimately the goal for all of us, is to get people to see our listings. So I've been doing that in lieu of end and sell similar. I don't know if you guys are still doing the end and sell similar thing religiously, like I know most of us have been doing for a while, but I've kind of bailed on that a little bit. With your regular eBay store, I can tell what will sell by seeing views and of course watches. It seems different with print ads. Different as far as what? Views and watches? Again, so that the whole screen isn't just the comment. You could tell what you sell. What are the other things that you're selling that you see more views and or watches on? Remember, it's only a 30-day cycle, so you're only seeing views for the last 30 days, and that keeps refreshing every 30 days, so don't be scared. Excuse me, if yesterday it goes to 0 again, it means that the clock started again and there's no new views. But anyway, long tail is a term we all love to use around here, are the postcards and the print ad things. They're not, usually quick movers. There's exceptions like with any other product. So it's a volume game, get a lot of things up, and you'll start selling more and more based on the volume. It's a 1% to 2% sell-through. It's not an astounding sell-through. So again, it's really about getting a bunch of listings up. I mean, I definitely see views and watches on my print ads. Probably not the same that I would see if I listed an iPhone tonight. I'd probably have it sold tonight if it was undervalued, under market or close to market price, and it was desirable. It's supply and demand, and all those good things we hear about all the time. So I don't know if you sell other things. You said your regular eBay store. So maybe you sell other things that have a higher sell-through, or at least minimally are viewed more commonly because of the nature of the product. I'm not sure. What's up, Vintage Ron? How you doing? Paper moves quite often. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. I agree. It does move quite often, but you got to have a lot up. to see kind of a daily return. Keith is going through a batch of super common postcards. You guess $3 a pop adds up. Exactly. Once again, volume. I agree. Like I'm living in right now for the lion's share of the stuff I'm just trying to get up. It's my pricing is $7.99, $8.99. Again, not going to break the bank. And I do the free shipping model with the standard envelope, 64 cents, not a big hit. I haven't been promoting them initially. I'm trying to ride that fresh listing high that you get, and I don't think there's a need initially to promote. But again, to each their own. That's just the thing I've been doing in recent months. And then again, after about a month or so, I'll take a look at those views as Enzo was just talking about. And if there's nothing or very low amount of views, then I'll go in and promote it. And it's usually a fairly moderate promotion. I don't really go for the 12, 13%. Personally with me, especially on a postcard that's only $7. I don't know. Don't want to eat into that profit too much. But the good thing for me anyway, and I'm sure for most of us that do the postcards and the print ads and other ephemera, is our cost, at least on an average, is extremely low. I hope they are. I hope all your items you're buying cheaply. But the ads, again, for me, if I really had to quantify it, is probably a penny or two an ad, maybe. I don't even know. It is hard to quantify at this point because I got so many magazines and so many ads from a magazine. But honestly, a nickel or less, per ad, that we'll just use that as a figure. So again, if you're making $10, I did a video about that the actual return on investment is in the thousands of, like 40,000% or something. If you could sell something for $20 and it costs you a nickel, do the math. Feel free to go nuts. But the ROA is almost impossible to beat. ROI is almost impossible to beat. ROA is rights of accumulation, which is a mutual fund term, which I used to dabble in for 30 years. So sorry about mixing up those terms. But anyway, that's for me, that's the law, right? Is such a cheap price of entry and such a mammoth return on your investment. And again, it just comes down to getting the volume up that you need to get up for these things that have 1% sell-throughs, and just slamming the system and just blowing out, as many listings as you could do a day with those sort of items. It'll definitely pay off in the long run. I had Blue Feather up, and I'm sorry I pulled it down because I wanted to get on my high horse there for a second. You're listing a 78 classic horse and sport magazine tonight. Horse people seem to like their ephemera. There's actually it's funny you mentioned that, man, because I have several issues of a horse magazine that I got in a free donation, I might add, of ephemera. So good luck with that. Hopefully we'll have some videos coming forth from you about, how they're doing. People do like the horses, though, that's for sure. My wife is a horse gal, and I can speak to that directly. What do you mean is if you list a baseball glove, you could tell if it's going to sell by views. With print ads, it's much less views than sells out of nowhere. I got you. Yeah, and it's harder, I think, to because there's just less of them up, right? Certainly than a baseball glove. If you try to do comps and stuff of your specific ad, depending on the scarcity of the ad, you're probably not going to find too many. But yeah, I could tell that. Yep. So it's harder to gauge I would still, again, just from experience, and you could do the numbers if you want, it's 1% to 2% sell through, man. Long term, long tail. Enzo the picker. It seems to be people popping randomly and pull the trigger. Yep. And as always, another cliche, it takes the right person at the right time, but it really is true. And that's why I preach, and so many other people preach, the importance of listing these things every day. Because you want to try to get, there might be somebody that has one of the beautiful things, especially in the print ad and postcard selling community, is people have saved searches. Buyers, I have saved searches, as I've mentioned before, for certain record categories and things, whereby as soon as a new listing comes up that reaches or meets my parameters that I put in, I'll get notified that so-and-so has listed a new album, and I can go in and look at it. So there's people that set up, Coca-Cola collectors. They want to see all things Coca-Cola. If you bang out 20 ads tonight and somebody has a search, you might pop right in. Somebody pulls the trigger immediately, or your Coke ad might sit in your store for 10 years. It's really kind of luck of the draw. So again, I just subscribe to the notion that you got to keep listing them, and eventually they will sell. That is the truth. The picker, it seems to be. Yeah, that's what you just said. Yep. Cool. Been editing descriptions, adding an explanation. The eBay standard envelope is not a USPS scan. Yes, post office has been hopefully, cut off the end. But By the way, I've also been told that supposedly adding or editing descriptions or certainly titles also has that a similar impact on kind of refreshing a listing. So maybe that's a good thing in on both sides, right? And trying to explain what standard envelope is and isn't. And also, that modification might actually get you some new views. Horse people, of which there are many. Stop the item not received cases. Yeah, good luck, man. The sad truth there, though, despite our efforts, you've learned this, I'm sure, over time, is nobody reads anything. So even though you're going in and being proactive, but hopefully it helps if they're ever up against the wall in a case with somebody, eBay will see that you've put all these, safeguards in place and said this and reiterated this, and they'll side in your favor if push comes to shove. But hopefully it doesn't come to that. It's just a postcard, right? Or whatever you're sending in the standard envelope, which does include new items now, like the patches. It's so funny. They announced the patch thing, and I literally sold like 2 or 3 patches that have been sitting forever. Within a week of the announcement, the patches are now part of that. So that was pretty cool. Lisa is favoring the real photo postcards. Yep, do a bit of research. So listing is slow. On the bright side, you recently sold a $60 postcard. Congratulations. Yeah, I mean, typically real photos will sell at a premium, and I mean, some of them sell at an extremely high premium. Several people who have watched the show in the past have all kind of specialized or niched down their postcard game into specifically real photo postcards, and they all do well. So good on you, Lisa. That's fantastic. I keep saying Lisa. It's Elise, isn't it? By the way, call me Greg. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, no problem. Thanks, Greg. Yeah, it's a lot easier it rolls off the tongue a little quicker, Greg. But again, check out Greg's channel on YouTube. I really recommend it if you guys haven't seen it and you like my stuff and you like ephemera in general and print ads specifically. He does a nice job. The videos I've seen are mostly just like what sold videos. But again, he goes into kind of detail. Here's this ad. This sold for this amount of money. I paid this amount of money. And he has some, highlights, some specifics about the advertisement that he thinks led to the fact that it sold. So definitely check him out. But great to meet you, Greg. Enzo gets 20 to 25 full-page ads for magazines for probably 2 cents, not counting smaller ads. Exactly, man. And again, many videos are out there from me about these smaller ads. Don't sleep on them. Some of the best money I've ever made on an ad was a 2x3 inch for $160 at the back of a magazine that 99.9% would probably throw out or disregard. So yeah, definitely check out every square inch of these magazines, especially the older ones, the really older ones. Speaking of Coke, you had a postcard of a diner that showed 5 Coke signs, and either pronunciation is fine. Okay, no problem. I would never call you such a thing. A good friend of mine growing up married a girl named Elisa, and it was Elise, but she pronounced it Elisa. So I think Elise is cool. We'll go with Elise if that's acceptable. Lisa, I'm concentrating more on real photos. Yeah, man, that's if you can find them and you want to, again, to me, that's almost niching down within a niche, is to specialize in real photos. There's obviously a lot more bang for your buck. But of course, the downside, if you will, is that they're harder to come by as opposed to your everyday, whatever that means really, but your everyday typical postcard, typical view of some mountain in a state somewhere, for $5-6. So it really comes down to, what you're sourcing, what you're looking for. If you choose to just go for that higher end postcard, then fantastic, and you'll definitely make good money. I would just argue that it's a little bit harder to come by than those standard cards, but I think it's pretty cool. There's a lot of interesting real photo postcards out there. Many of them are one-offs. They're literally just a photo of something that somebody took. They're not mass-produced. That's why the value is higher typically. You're becoming a success, Jackie Jack. You may have turned into a collector. Oh, you're starting to collect them. When the seller becomes a collector, oops-a-daisy. You need all the bang for your buck. Amen. Yeah. Don't we all need bangs for our buck? Speaking of bangs, it's not really nothing to do with bangs, but if you have anything to do tonight, if you don't do anything else, leave a thumbs up on this video, please, if you're enjoying it. Share it out to folks. Hey, there's this guy on YouTube rambling for no reason about postcards. Let people know about the channel. Again, we'll do a listing show later in the week before I head out on the road. And tonight's just kind of a say hi, show off the fact that I can speak for the first time in like 2 or 3 days because the throat was so bad, but I'm feeling a lot better today. That's for sure. Yep. Oops. Yeah. Don't smoke what you deal. Yeah. Oh, cool. You just put, yeah, it should definitely be a good time. Hope you have a great time. I'll definitely hang out and check out. You could see, I don't know what time the doors open. You could call up the place if you'd like to know. You could just say, what time the doors open for the show? And what you could do is maybe offline, Keith, I'll give you my number or something. You could text me and say, hey, man, I'm here. I'll come out and say hi. That's what I did with Mark in Chicago. Some postcards, got to meet him and his wife. He came to our show in Chicago in January, and it was the same kind of thing. He kind of got in right away, and I went out and said hi, before we changed and everything. It was really great to meet him. So I look forward to meeting you too. It should be a lot of fun. Yeah, that was quite the comment. But basically, he's absolutely right. What's up, Lori? How you doing? Great to see you. What's for dinner, Lori? Mr. and Mrs. Mermaid. That's right. They're both here, both present and accounted for. Good to see you both. It's a pleasure having you. Yeah, so again, if anyone wants to talk about anything specifically, anybody had any questions about postcards, or I'll try my best on postcards, but print ads I think I could speak to. Any questions about like sourcing ideas, any questions about pricing, any questions about anything, let me know. I would be very interested to field some questions and do my best to answer them on a night like this, especially. And I'm just kind of kicking back and saying hi. Did you ever keep track of what magazine you listed from got the most sales? Oh, I could tell you without question, without tracking. It's Life magazine. Oh, you're saying a specific issue. Are you saying a specific issue? I could easily do so because of the way I store them. If again, you can watch the video. I'm sure you've seen the video. Most of the people that are on the channel, but my inventory system is pretty simple, and I could just look at a SKU and go to like L25 and see there's only like 2 ads left, and I might have listed 25. So it's funny you mentioned that. No, I haven't done any official accounting of that though, but I know for sure there's several issues of Life specifically because that's the magazine I've had the most of for the longest period. And there's several that I've sold out of. So I've sold all 30 ads or whatever it is from a specific magazine. But that's an interesting question. I haven't done like an actual accounting of, what issue has sold the most. I'd be willing to bet, though, they're going to be World War II era issues because those are the ads that seem to do the best for me, and they happen to be my favorite as well. Not a coincidence. How's the wife and grandma flip it? Wife is good. Wife is good. Grandma flip it. Well, we have Mrs. Flippett's mom, and we have my mom. So they are both doing well. I appreciate you asking. Things are going well. Had to ask, yes. Pulled pork panini and avocado crunch salad. There you go, Manj. Enjoy. Pricing. How do you price your most basic ad? I have a basic ad pricing scheme that moves like the wind. I think we're living in a $14.99 world right now, Enzo. Again, subject to change, as I just talked about. Like if something's sitting out there for a period of time, what I've been doing lately with the print ads and the postcards is rather than doing an ending and sell similar on all of them, and it's for 2 reasons. It's one is because I found out that basically I could do the same by just tweaking a price up and down, and secondarily, I could do 2,000 at a time when I'm doing an edit as opposed to 200 at a time, which I really wish they would modify when you do ending sell similar. So when you have thousands of listings, it's just very time consuming, and again, there's room for error. You might accidentally delete a population of 200 items that you thought you hit submit or whatever. And, I've had that happen one time in my life. And thanks to 6-bit, they saved me. They were able to maintain, they had the original ones I listed. It took a year to find them all, but I learned that lesson the hard way. So always be very careful about always have a starting number. And, let's say you have 2,000 postcards and sell similar. Make sure you mark down what your starting count was. And every time you hit submit and sell similar, make sure you keep coming back to that same number, and that nothing's lost. It's easy to get lazy with that. With me, I always have music going on in the background. I get, oh man, did I send that or did I not send that? And that's how I got screwed that one time. But again, it's only been one time. But so my new thing is I'm a proponent of just changing pricing up and down a little bit. There's always room. I've done this too. My very old ads, meaning 3-4 years ago, I still have some listed for 3-4 years ago. That's just the nature of the beast. As I've mentioned 100 times on the show, I used to, prior to having the Optic Slim, the large flatbed, I used to do, on my regular printer, I used to just do the top half scanned, bottom half scanned. So I'd have 2 images per scan, but it was only half an image. So I've gone in on some of those really older ones, especially if there's only a handful left that haven't sold. And I've just kind of taken them out and rescanned them with the Optic Slim and then submitted new photos. That also has a nice way of kind of kickstarting your older stale listings again. So photos, titles, and pricing are the three most impactful that I've heard about. I want to see Ministry Saturday. Holy cow. Wow. Have fun, man. You're in Florida, otherwise you come see me. It's quite a ride to Cleveland. It's outside of Cleveland, isn't it, Keith, though? It's called Lakewood, Ohio. I think it's west of Cleveland a little bit. We're playing in South Bend, Indiana on Friday. And then we're getting up and driving into Lakewood, which is only like a 4-hour ride, 4.5-hour ride. But then after Lakewood, get some sleep, and then I got to drive all the way back to Connecticut. We just did a really nice show in Connecticut on Saturday night. It was a really good time. It's on the Rhode Island border. Keith just made a sale. Buy tickets and leave a thumbs up. That's the 2 keys to success. Congratulations, man. That's awesome. What'd you sell? Everybody wants to know what you sold. Besides a baseball fella, what is the most profitable? Besides a baseball fella. Oh, besides that baseball fella. What's the most profitable ad that I've sold? Did you see the video where I showed it was 4 pages, but it was front and back. Came to 4 pages, but it was really a 2-page insert from World War I that had the USS Arizona, 20 some odd years before it was blown into smithereens at Pearl Harbor. That sold for, I have to look back, $90, something like that. So a couple of those have sold really well. I can actually pull this up. Hold on. Because I saved the ones that were like special, anything north of $50 on a print ad, I'm pretty much doing a jig. I could tell you the ones that sold. I'll even show you the picture of a couple that sold really well. I don't remember if I have the price in there, but let's see. High dollar sales. Oh, yeah, this Uncle Sam. If you guys remember, I'll show you this. Do a quick share screen. This guy sold really well. Let's see if you could see that. Remember this one? I think that was north of $50. I could look it up. Oh, you guys can look it up. Look up the heck was the amount? Uncle Sam. I'm trying to remember how I titled it. But anyway, that sold really well. I'll look it up. I'll look up the specific one. And then this guy sold well too. Well means north of $50. This little William shaving ad, which was from like 1903, I think. Just takes a second to pull these up. Sorry. Here we go. That one sold really well too. Like north of $50. That's old. That's 1905. But look at the condition of that one. That was a spectacularly nice looking ad. Yeah, the Uncle Sam sold really well. I'll look it up, man. Let me see what they sold for. Give you the exact amounts. That was from 1899. It was heralding the new century, the 20th century, like biking into the 20th century. And it was an issue from December of 1899, which is one of the oldest ads I've ever sold. Let me see if I could find it in sold. How far you can go back a while now, a real long while. Paid and shipped. We'll just throw Uncle Sam in the old search category. It was in 23, so I can whittle it down to that. See what Uncle Sam sold for. I know, again, to talk about Mark from SM Postcards, I think he sold an Uncle Sam postcard for sick money. Hold to the light card. Uncle Sam. Last year. I have this year on there. Sorry. Last year. Oh, you guys can't see this, can you? I didn't share this. So look, I'll show you when I pull up the listing. $75 was this one. I'll show you this guy. Oh, you can't pull it up anymore? Hold on. Come on now. And I got positive feedback, baby. But if you guys want to look it up, it's titled 1899 Antique Original Print Ad, Uncle Sam, 20th Century Spanish-American War Victory. That was what I threw in there. But $75 on that one. And then the little shaving guy was probably like $50 or so. So anyway, those are the really good ones. And then yeah, the mother of all was the 160 baseball guy. Lakewood is just west of Cleveland. Yeah, very cool. We'll definitely see a show of come Florida. And we will come to Florida, Jim. We will come to Florida. Where are you? I mean, you don't have to be specific. Are you in Southeast, Southwest, Central? Where are you in Florida? A postcard of the courthouse in Muncie, Indiana. Nice. That's what's sold. Cool. Yeah, I think it's like 1% to 2%, man. It's not high, as we know. Long tail. Yeah, Uncle Sam was awesome. Good luck finding that. That was an 1899 magazine, like I said. But if you're lucky enough to find it, you got a comp. You struggle to find magazines before 1930 to source from. And again, thank you for that, because I was saying, as anybody has questions about sourcing, estate sales have been my gold mine when it comes to that stuff, man. I mean, specifically, there was 2 or 3 of them in a row we went to, probably like 2. It was in the springtime, I think the year before last, where my wife stepped on a pile of magazines that were underneath a table. So I don't even know if they were technically listed, out there for sale. They were kind of like a second, just an afterthought. And being how we are, we just said, hey, can we take these magazines? And we really downplayed what we knew the value of them was. He's like, yeah. So I said, all right, we'll go back. And I had like a handful of records, which is what we actually went there for the records. And anyway, I don't remember what I paid exactly at this time, but it was ridiculously cheap. But in that stack, wound up being like 100 magazines altogether. The lion's share were, before 1920, actually. They were like turn of the century through World War I stuff. Good Housekeeping was a good portion of them. McCall's was a good portion of them. But I've had that happen, not stepping on them, but I've found the really old magazines in like a handful of estate sales. So if you have estate sales out there that you can check out, definitely do that. It's not the kind of stuff that grows on trees. I understand that. You could also always look on Whatnot, see if anybody, speaking of Whatnot, I'm thinking of doing an ephemera Whatnot again to blow out some stuff that I've had for a while, that because I have kind of changed at least slightly changed my approach to that other store I was telling you guys about. I'm kind of going to concentrate on the print ads and postcards almost exclusively as far as ephemera. So I have a whole bunch of outliers in the ephemera stuff that I've accumulated over the years. So I'd be happy to, if you guys are interested, I would do a nice Whatnot. Maybe I have a ton of sheet music I could do on Whatnot. I have a bunch of maps, like old maps, old books, old pamphlets. If you guys are interested, maybe we'll do a Whatnot. If you need some inventory, I could even throw in some of those old magazines if anybody's interested. Because I do know that, again, they don't grow on trees. I understand that, but you'd be surprised, like anything else. Just like the folks that are looking for these super high, valuable, scarce, real photo postcards. Another thing that doesn't, just make itself apparent all the time. But search and ye shall find. But anyway, that's what I would say is check out estate sales. That's where I've had luck with those old ones. Maybe antique malls, you might be able to find some buried under some other stuff. But it's like anything. You just have to kind of keep looking. Oh, Lakeside. I know exactly what Lake City is. Okay, cool. Very good. My dad lived in the Villages before we took him in. Yep, sure. Very cool. Yep. Down the turnpike, right? 27 north. I used to live in Claremont for a while, Jim. And I've been going to Florida since I'm a baby. So it really is my second home. And I'm sure it'll wind up being home one day. At least I hope so. We'll probably wind up going there at some point. You always seem to keep going back to Florida. Yeah, no problem, man. Good luck. Just keep checking. But definitely estate sales for the magazines in general. And hopefully you'll have some luck with the older ones. So many people, do you guys ever, I never really asked this question. Does anybody source on eBay for ephemera, for postcards, for print ads, for magazines? Sniping as they call it, where you go in and you try to get stuff that's undervalued and flip them. There's lots of magazines available. I know that for sure on eBay. maybe you could hone in and try to like do a specific search for, pre 1930 or whatever year you're looking for, and see if anything comes up. I've never really done that, but you know what? Why don't I try that? Let's see if anybody has old magazines. I just type pre 1930 magazine lot. And 10 results, but let's see how much actually apply to what we're talking about. See, they have like clippings, which is basically print ads. Antique embroidery needlework magazines from 1906 to 1916. Needlecraft. Then you have specific magazines, like somebody's selling an issue of a baseball magazine for $65. I'd balk on that. 16 1930s vintage Saturday Evening Post magazines for $25. What does that equate to per issue? Here, I'll put a link if anybody's interested in this one. Go get them. Oh, wow. Why did that come out 3 times? By the way, check out that. I just put a link to the Saturday Evening Post if anybody wants. Go get those. You saw several types of ephemera on eBay. Yeah, very cool. You got probably half your stock from eBay. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, that's the most user-friendly way. We're all on eBay most of the day, at least I am. Nothing better than just sitting in your chair and doing some sourcing. You don't have to leave the house. It's definitely worth a try for sure. But anyway, check that one out if everybody wants to see. That's a nice listing of 16 Saturday Evening Posts. They take offers too, so make them an offer. And then, as everybody knows, this new enhancement, quote unquote, that eBay does, you can look down below that. It says similar items. Some are sponsored, some aren't. And then you can find a whole bunch of other ones. They have World War I era magazines. There's an auction with one bid for $23. And I'll tell you what, a lot of those magazines are stuff I have or have had. I'd check out this one too. If you guys looking for old stuff, knock yourself out. I have enough magazines for 5 lifetimes. It's so weird. I apologize. I keep putting a link in and then it comes out like in 5 different ways. Is it too large a link? That's probably what it is. Hang on, folks. Let's do a little URL shortener action. I think that's what's going on. So it's coming out like in multiple posts instead of one. URL shortener. I know I have a link somewhere. Let's try this again. All right, this should work a lot better. Sorry about that. I just noticed the first one. So never mind that first one. This one is the auction. I just posted this little one. That's for 1630s magazines. And then the other one, what was the other one I was showing everybody? What the heck is it? Oh, this one, the Saturday Evening Post. I'll shorten this one too, and then maybe you guys can check it out. There's a Google, what do you call those things? Extension for URL, free URL shortener if you're interested. And there's that first one, which is 16 1930s Saturday Evening Posts. They look nice. It looks like that's just covers, actually. So strike that. That's a waste. Unless you like covers. I'm not saying it's a waste. But the other one is actually magazines. Very nice. $23 bid on 8 magazines from 1909 to 1917. Sounds like that meets your metrics of early stuff. Yeah, I know. I wasn't trying to share the screen. I was just going to give you a link. Anyway, that's the 2. Yeah, I used Bitly, but then I think you run out of like free uses of Bitly. So just go. There's a Google extension you can do for free. Yep. Check out the links, man. Check out the links. There's one, and there's another one. Go get them. Go get them. Go get them. But that was my search. Just go in there and search, old magazine lot. If you want to put a specific decade in, I put 30s. I put pre-1930 in my search. But have a blast. Tweak it. You can look for even Facebook Marketplace if you want to put a post. Hey, I collect old magazines. Get rid of your junk. One man's junk. You have bought lots of magazines on Poshmark and Mercury. Hi, Jane. How you doing? Yeah, Macari. I'm a big fan of sourcing on Macari as well. Jane, welcome to the show, by the way. I think, and again, it sounds disparaging, but it's not meant to be. I think your average Macari buyer and seller are a little bit less savvy than your average eBay one, just because it's a much newer platform. It's kind of a little more Wild West-ish, as a lot of people say. So I think there's a lot of opportunities to snipe on Macari. Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. So good luck to you, and welcome to the show, Jane. Thanks for coming in. You bought 40 plus magazines on eBay, 70s and older. The most you've paid at $256 each landed. Yeah, I mean, it's expensive to me, but again, in the grand scheme of thing, you sell one ad for 10 to 15 bucks. You know, you're already in the money multiple times over, and then the rest is just gravy. So I still think that's, money well spent. Good luck with that, CJ. I appreciate you letting everybody know about that. So anyway, ignore all these ridiculously long comments that I have, like this and this and this. It was just one link that was so long, it filled into like 5 comments. So I'll delete those. Got to tidy up the stream here. I don't know if it's wreaking havoc or anything, but I don't like seeing it. So we'll get rid of those. Oh, yeah, that's always an option for those who are looking for anything, obviously. It's never a bad thing to check out eBay first. Look for people selling lots of things, looking for people to, a frustrated postcard guy who thought it was going to be great and he was going to be in the money, and he realizes he bought a bunch of postcards and he's not making any money. Try to get rid of them, take them off people's hands. You'd be surprised. You'd get things for a song if you find somebody like that. Lots of opportunities within eBay to source all kinds of products, just about everything. And of course, if you sort by newest listed, newly listed, which is why we should list every day, you might find some real bargains out there. So just an idea. In fact, I might even enhance one of my videos about that. Maybe I'll do a video about that within the print ad thing, about how you could source right on eBay, or like Jane mentioned, on Macari, or name your site. But I totally agree. Macari is a great source for finding stuff to resell. I've never tried Poshmark. I didn't know Poshmark had magazines on there, but that's good information, Jane. Poshmark kind of has that clothing moniker on it. It's primarily a clothing site, but it's good to know there's other stuff out there that sells on Poshmark. I do have a Poshmark store. I've sold like 5 items in my life on Poshmark, because I never really did clothing until now, and the clothing I'm doing is just going to be strictly on eBay and strictly in my new store that's all clothing. Etsy, that's a good one too. Etsy's a great source to find old magazines, old ephemera in general. So just check it out. Again, so my recommendation would be first just search, put in whatever parameters you want, pre this date. If you're looking for a specific magazine, let me see all the Saturday Evening Posts prior to 1950, whatever it is. And then you can whittle it down, your search, and get more specific, or just start off with a very broad net and then whittle it down once you have a population capture that appeals to you. Go in and try to whittle it down and get more specific to stuff you're interested in. And then you can play pricing. Always look for people that accept offers, and, throw them an offer. Trust that we all sell ephemera. Sometimes you just want to get rid of stuff, right? So maybe somebody will take a reasonable offer, or in the case of one of the ones I did where it's an auction, I don't know how popular a Saturday Evening Post magazine auction is going to be. I hope they, get as much as they can get, obviously, but I think it's a 7-day auction that just started. And, throw your hat in the ring if you're interested in them, and see what goes on. And, I would imagine there wouldn't be quite as much action as if you were, auctioning something really popular. Any other questions? Any other thoughts in the ephemera stuff? I'd be happy to discuss them. If I don't know, I'll definitely try to help you and look up things, or we'll ask the group. We have, I'd argue, the best dang group of people ever on my live shows consistently every week, and I thank you all from the bottom of me heart for all that, because I really appreciate turning on the machine and having people come and watch me. It's always a thrill. It's still a thrill, always will be. And then hopefully, as things settle down with all this health nonsense I've been going through, it's things getting older, doesn't it, folks? Then I'll be able to maybe focus a little more on getting some new material out there on YouTube. I had some ideas about doing like new series, kind of like in line with the print ad thing that I did, which has been my most successful, if you would call it successful, but I guess it is successful. My most successful YouTube topic is definitely the ephemera stuff and the print ad stuff specifically. So I was thinking of trying to do some other series kind of like that, where it's like soup to nuts with something else, or maybe enhancing the print ad thing. Some updates or something, like we just had that idea about doing searches within eBay and trying to snipe off of eBay for print ads or for magazines primarily. I wouldn't suggest buying print ads necessarily on eBay, although I say that, you never know. If somebody already did the work and cut out all the ads, and you just want to get a stock of, a stack of whatever the number is, 1,000 miscellaneous print ads, then have at it if that's something that's available. Whatever you could do, exhaust all your opportunities out there. Think outside the box. Get out there, go to antique malls, if they still have live auctions where you are. A lot of them have resorted to going online nowadays. Ever since COVID, it's like, we used to have this really nice place very close to me that was an auction house. They closed down during COVID and never opened. They went to the whole online thing. Now it's online. It's a shame, because I used to really like going in there. That used to be a great place to go for magazines, for me anyway, was an auction house. And again, you can get them for a song. They're usually really cheap. People are there for other items typically. And for anybody who knows or has been to an auction house, a lot of times, like after the auction's over, there's tables of stuff, and you'll often find on those tables magazines that nobody ever wanted. They'll just give them to you. They want to clear their stock, or they want to clear the table, and they'll just give them away essentially at the end. So you can't beat free. Lori got a sale. Congratulations. What'd you sell, Lori? Congratulations. Mentioning Uncle Sam. There you go. See? The magic of Uncle Sam. Yeah, I know you left that thumbs up, man. So you just sold an Uncle Sam ornament. Congratulations. Hitting on two huge things. Uncle Sam always sells. Christmas always sells. So Lori just proved that. Congratulations, Lori. That's awesome. Oh, the 42. Oh, yeah. How did that work out, man? Did everything work out? Did they pay? All is right in the world? Do you have ads that have heavy? Do ads that have heavy toning on edge still sell? Probably, Jane. It really depends. That's a great term. Is the toning? I use that term in all of my, like kind of as a basic like fill in for my descriptions. May have slight age toning. Whether it does or not, I kind of have that as a blurb all the time. I mean, I guess like anything else, it depends on if it's like really severe and distracting from the rest of the ad, then maybe I would consider, possibly not listing it or trying to trim some of that excess off. Again, if it doesn't compromise the actual ad itself. I don't think there's any harm in doing that. I have videos about that as well. So it really depends. I think it really depends on how much it impedes upon the actual, the enjoyment of the ad itself. If you have any specifics and you wanted to send some exhibits to me, I'd be happy to look at them. JiminyFlipIt@gmail.com. Always open to the masses. Anybody who has any questions, concerns, ideas, send them on. JiminyFlipIt@gmail.com. If you have questions, if you want me to look at something and give you my 2 cents, I'd be happy to. So, Jane, if you want to send me an email with that specific ad, I'd be happy to take a look and tell you if you should crumple it up and throw it out or get it listed. There's a couple of factors, obviously, I would want to weigh or considerations. Hi, Saturday Evening Post, the best source of old ads. Thanks. Hi, Jameen, is that how we pronounce it? Jameen? Some of these names, I apologize. My inclination would be say Jameen, but you can tell me if I'm spelling it incorrectly or saying it incorrectly. So I didn't post is certainly a great source, as is, and again, if you want to define old, that's up for interpretation. But for me, old is like kind of 30s and prior, would be older ads. World War II is kind of its whole own segment in the 40s. Then when you get to the 50s, you could use that mid-century modern term if you wanted. And then to me, honestly, when it comes to ads, 60s to now is sort of current. It really is. That there's not that much different. Other than the products themselves, it's kind of cool to see, certain things that were brand new or come into fashion or gone from fashion. You could obviously still sell them. But for me, I would define 30s and prior as old. And Saturday Evening Post certainly fits that bill. Good Housekeeping. What's some of the other really good ones? McCall's. You'll see a lot of really good McCall's magazines. And some of the McCall magazines, just to keep in mind, they're huge. They're like 16 inches long. So if you are lucky enough to come across like a 1910 to 1920 McCall's, you'll see a lot of them are huge. And if you do sell them, and if you do list them and sell them, you're going to need something a little bit bigger than the typical mailers to accommodate that size. You definitely don't want to bend them or anything like that. But yeah, welcome to the show, Jiminy. And again, I apologize if I'm spelling it incorrectly. Let me know. I don't know how we could let me know. Some sort of phonetic description of how to spell it would be appreciated. Florida Man Jim, hold on. Oh, yeah, the 42 cars. Everything went well, I hope. Yeah. Paid and happy. Feedback received, hopefully. That's awesome, man. You can't beat a 42. Congratulations. Lori, yeah. It's funny. Corey, my sister-in-law's name is Corey. It's Korie. I think that's the only Corey I've ever met. Yep, Saturday Evening Post, definitely a good one. Yes, Jameen. Okay, thank you very much. They're perfectly done. Jameen. Welcome to the show again, and thank you. Yeah, Saturday Evening Post, McCall's, Good Housekeeping, and the three that come to mind really quickly for the old 30s, prior to 30s. Let's go Great Depression and earlier. That would be my definition of old. Old Life magazines. Now, Life only starts in 1936. That's the oldest you'll get. And with the 1936 issue, if you have the first one, I had 3 copies of it. You're better off. There's very few times I'll ever say this, but you're almost better off selling the whole issue as opposed to the ads within in that specific issue. And actually, for the whole run up until almost all of the 30s Life magazines, it was a new magazine at the time. They were this thin. They're lacking in advertisement, being a new magazine and being in the height of the Great Depression, where money was tough to come by and advertisers were reluctant to spend a lot of money on advertising. The paper is lousy quality. It's very thin. There's not a lot of ads. They're all black and white pretty much without exception. There might be some exceptions, but that's just something to stay away from a little bit of the 30s issues. Other than the very first issue, you could sell that for like $40, $50 maybe. I would do that in a heartbeat. If I had the first one, just put the whole thing up if it's in good condition. But that's good to know. Tell me a little bit. I think I have almost all the Life magazines they've made, probably close to it. Yeah, don't forget to get your Jiminy Dust. That's right. Please leave that thumbs up. I appreciate that, Laura. Yes, please, please, please leave that thumbs up. I really want YouTube to know we're out here. You picked up a 350-page Spiegel catalog from 60. Very cool. Very cool. Catalogs, an interesting niche unto itself. Absolutely. Sears catalog, of course, JCPenney catalogs. In Jamine's case, a Spiegel catalog. Really interesting stuff. The catalogs themselves usually sell pretty well, but of course it'll be chock full of advertisement. No feedback. Okay. We're assuming a happy buyer then. That's a good thing. But congratulations. That's one of the mother of all sales right there. Lisa, you've sold frayed or age-shown ads. Yeah, I put a warning. If you like your ads to be pristine, this one is not for you. Interesting. Yeah, there's people that, who knows what the end user is going to do with these advertisements. There's the shabby look or shabby chic of a style my wife loves, by the way. There's people that might want that aging. They're looking for something specifically like that has that, aura of oldness. And they might actually dig the fact that it has some of that age showing. But I agree with what Lisa says. Excuse me. Be transparent. Mention the fact that there's flaws of, if it's perceived as a flaw anyway. So the way she the way she worded it is one way, that's fine. Like I said, I just have kind of a canned thing in there where I say, may have light age toning or something like that. If something has significantly more age toning, just say in the thing, has significant age toning as seen in scans or as seen in photos, and you're covering your buttocks. Oh, that's cool. There you go. Well, that's just as good. As long as they're happy. Yeah, the 36, like I said, Jimmy, I would actually argue all the 30s, like they really picked up steam in the 40s with World War II and everything. And then Life became a way of life. Life became, an absolutely classic magazine. And with it, you'll see the increase. It's amazing. Just hold a 30s magazine versus a 40s magazine. And it's like 3 times the size and it's chock full of amazing, amazing ads. I love, if you haven't seen the channel or watched some of these videos, Jimmy, I love the World War II print ads. They're just amazing, amazing graphics, amazing coloring, amazing topics, an amazing time in history. What's up, Mark? There he is. How you doing? Check out Mark SM Postcards on the YouTubes. Good to see you, man. Going to be meeting Keith Saturday night out in Lakewood, Ohio. We're going to be in, where's Notre Dame? Indiana, wherever that is. We'll go South Bend. We're going to be playing in South Bend on Friday, Mark, which isn't really that far from you, by the way. If you want to come out again. Good housekeeping is good with ads from the 50s, especially kitchen. Sure. Jane, are you familiar with the term 50s pink? That's a keyword. That's a BOLO keyword. There's an actual, I learned this from my daughter who did real estate. There's a style called 50s pink. It's in houses all the time, especially in bathrooms and kitchens, the tile. So it's a good keyword. So if you find good keeping stuff, from the 50s and you see anything like that, use that term, 50s pink. What's up? It's not a bug, it's a feature. Exactly. It's an enhancement to some. You know what I mean? It really comes down to what they're looking for. I mean, your Etsy folks, right? A lot of them are scrapbookers and things like that. And they might really enjoy the fact that it has age toning or, I mean, I would think within reason. I wouldn't expect like razor blades through the ad, but if it has that, like I said, that aura of something that's, ancient or old or whatever term you want to use, Victorian, whatever it is, maybe they're looking to make, create some piece of artwork that has those types of objects. And rather than trying to distress it on their own, they have real pieces that are already distressed. And that's a lot of fun. There she is. How you doing, Dawn? Good evening. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. At least I like that. National Geographic magazine have something off. They do. They have ads. What you mean? They have ads. The magazines themselves, I mean, you could do the research on eBay. They're a dime a dozen because so many people have them. Including me. I think it was my 8th grade graduation. My dad gave me a subscription for like 2 years. I still haven't been able to find it. I know I had it forever. It's been 40 something years, but 45 years, whatever it's been. But I had them. I don't know what happened to them. They got lost in the course of the 10,000 moves I've done in my life since 8th grade. But yeah, I mean, nowadays, like I really wish I could find them because these would be from like 1980-ish, 81. And you figure you'd have like Atari things, like, the ads might be pretty cool. And I'm telling you right now, they're in pristine condition because I never even opened the things. Don't tell my father. That was a nice idea. But yeah, National Geographic, I would argue, Jimine, any magazine worth its weight in salt is going to have a handful of really cool ads. So like, I don't shy away from anything. I'll sell an ad from any magazine. There you go. Exactly. You want to accentuate the fact that you have age toning. Genuine age toning, too. It's not like dunked in tea to make it look old. Genuine, 100% original age toning. Again, seriously, it could appeal to a certain population of people. Yep. You saw some bad Coke ads on Etsy? Yeah. But you would agree with that, right, Dawn, that there's a group of people out there that are looking for the distressed stuff or the age stuff to maybe make some sort of scrapbook thing or a piece of art or whatever. I think that's definitely a truism. Here's a tip from Blue Feather Ephemera Greg. In catalogs and magazines, classify small ads. Look for weird or trendy things. See monkeys. Absolutely. Yeah, that's what I called them too, is classified ads. They look like classified ads in a newspaper, the tiny ones. The legendary baseball ad I sold for all that money was kind of fit that bill. It was 2x3, I think, or 2x4 inches, tiny classified ad style. Yep. And again, you could look for the term or a term to use with a lot of that stuff. Those weird things is don't I sound knowledgeable when I go the medicine, what is it called? Crazy medicine? What's the term that you want to use? Anyway, the weird ones like the cure for baldness stuff and all of those things. Quirky medicine, whatever the term is. I can't remember right now. Quack medicine, that's the term. Quack medicine. You tell your wife she is shoveling, you have light aging. There you go. That's a way to quickly age yourself, though, by shoveling. Let me just tell you. That'll put that'll detract years from your life under the guise of exercise. Yeah, right. Do you mean, yes, you've sold many National Geo ads, but new issues have no ads? Go for 50s and older. Yeah, definitely. Oh, yeah. That's a sweet spot for if you're going to sell the magazines themselves. Like Dawn says, 50s or older, definitely 40s is a good spot for the magazines. But again, you'd be pressed to find, I've thrown this challenge out to many folks, find me how many magazines sell for $160 unto themselves. Very, very few. And so to take out a little 2x4 inch piece of paper from the back of one and sell it for that amount of money, you can't beat it. I never disparage anyone from selling anything, but like I just don't get the selling the magazine thing as a whole thing. It's just maybe it's a quicker flip than my world, but you could just, you can literally get 40,000% returns on the guts of these magazines instead of just selling a magazine for $10 or $15. Then again, you're on the other side of the equation, like we just talked about, and you want to snipe on eBay. Go look for those magazine sellers that are selling whole issues for $5 or $4 or lots of them for $3 a piece, and go get them and carve them up and make a fortune. It'll take you 30 years, but you'll make a fortune. Pepto-Bismol pink. Yeah. 50s pink. South Bend is always for me to go. Yeah, if you go around the lake, I think it's, what is it, like an hour and a half from Chicago? It looks really quick. Close enough, though. 54 housekeeping is your highest grossing issue. Is that it? Oh, very cool. Yep. Good housekeeping. Absolutely. The three big ones for the old magazines are McCall's, Good Housekeeping, Saturday Evening Post. There's some others, but those are the three I think most common. The predate Life. Again, Life doesn't start till 36. Everybody saying hi. Everybody getting acquainted. Sure. Always good with the tips. Pepto-Bismol pink. The great thing about fits this cat. That's very true too. If you have like a standard, I have the CS 400 duplex scanner, exactly as Dawn says. Anything with that form factor, 8.5 by 11. There's other magazines. There's actually McCall's magazines that are newer, that are small, that are like that 8.5 by 11 form factor. Exactly. You could throw them. Be careful, but as long as you don't do too many at a time, but maybe 10 or so, you get them right through the duplex scanner. It's easier than laying them on the flatbed. A little quicker. Making perfect paper ephemera for art journals. Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. Great tip and an absolute fact. I've definitely spoken about that as well. Great way to get rid of extras within a magazine. When you carve out a magazine or autopsy a magazine or whatever words you want to use, there's always going to be some scraps that will be left over. And that's a great opportunity to let the scraps build up, put them in a pile. When they get to a certain height or a certain weight that intrigues you, throw them all up on something like an Etsy, certainly Etsy for the art journalers, but eBay too. I'm sure you guys have heard of junk draw lots, which were very popular years ago, certainly on eBay. It's the same kind of thing, just a bunch of junk, a bunch of stuff that you deem junk, but somebody that does art journals and stuff could find value, especially if it's distressed. Again, there's people that look for that specifically. So great tip. I agree 1,000,000%. Genuine tones and full of character. That's right. Yeah, you don't want the fake dirt. Got to earn that age toning. Crackheads. Junk journals. Yep, exactly. Snake oil. Yeah. Quack medicine. That was, yeah, I'm sorry. I know. I'm behind. Quack medicine. Yes, yes, yes. I don't know why that word escaped me. Isn't that crazy? Snake oil. Yep. Your eBay stand envelope, please. Yeah, Mark has a great series. He always, is it every month? I think you do it, Mark. He does like an analysis of the success and failure of eBay stand envelope, how many are lost, how many make it through. So again, it goes without saying, check out Marcus on postcards on the YouTubes. No, certainly doesn't. Certainly doesn't. On the contrary, I mean, you're welcome. There's no real right or wrong answer for a lot of this stuff. Just so you know, you mean like. You could theoretically, the things we would call classified ads. If you wanted to take like use an example of what we just said, an old Good Housekeeping that's 14 by 11. And in that 14 by 11 space, if you go all the way to the back and you get the classified ads, there might be easily 50 ads on that one thing. If you just want to take that one sheet out, scan it, and sell it as a lot of 50 ads, then feel free to do that. But I'm definitely a fan of just, itemizing them and doing individuals. Again, the $160 ad fit that bill. It was in the back of a magazine. It was a little tiny ad. It was $160 because of who it was. And thankfully I recognized that and cut it out. But yeah, I absolutely cut them out. Boy, do they mail cheap too. They're really easy to send, the little ones too. But yeah, no, it doesn't affect anything. Just cut them out neatly, obviously, trim them and crop them properly, and they'll do well. I have a video that's literally called "It's Not the Size of Your Print Ad That Matters," and boy, is that true. Everybody, I think a lot of people have a notion that it has to be a full page ad or a large ad to sell and color to sell well. And nope, nope, nope. Best ad was tiny and black and white. Quack. Yeah, unload. Are you on Whatnot, man? Yeah, it's crazy. When you butcher a magazine, that's right. There you go. Yep, exactly. You can do it that way. Lots. Beautiful thing, lots. It's the junk drawer of paper, if you will. You know, and just blow them out or put them up at an auction and start at $10 or something. And if you get $10, I would take it and run. You know, it's you're turning trash into treasure. First, every month you sample 100. Yep, very good. So we're a little past the halfway mark. So look for an April Fool's version. I'm sure Mark will have in play for the latest on the March numbers. A bunch of people messaging me that are thinking of mailing postcards use grad advantage. Oh, really? I don't know why you would do that. I guess maybe it's worth that extra couple. Not if you're selling $8 postcards. I wouldn't, unless you're charging shipping. And who's going to buy an $8 postcard and spend $4.50 or $5 to ship it? Who do you think is the original ad buyer, collector or digital artist? In my experience so far, collectors. Collectors. I think if you were to sell something like you just described, like a scrap lot of things, then maybe that would be for some kind of digital artist or just traditional scrapbooking artist. But yeah, collectors, certainly. Collectors collect. And that's why, like, the ads, and if you come in on the show, I think it's going to be Thursday. I have to leave Thursday night. So if I do a show, it might be really early, like 5 o'clock, because I do have to get to bed because I have a long drive in the morning. And when I say morning, I have to leave about 2:30 in the morning to get out to South Bend for 3 o'clock the next day. But anyway, if you check out the show, Jiminy, I don't know if you've seen one before and just haven't chimed in, but we kind of go into that, like sort of like, you know, the fact that Coca-Cola, of course, is a prime example, or even if you just want to go at an industry level, like there's a lot of car collectors that are interested in old cars. There's people that collect Campbell's soup ads for whatever reason. There's people that collect Budweiser ads or all things Anheuser-Busch. So definitely I would say collectors are the lion's share of the people that are buying print ads, in my experience anyway. Use it on a regular paper envelope. Doesn't it have to be a thinner? I defer to Mark on that. I think it has to be a thinner, maybe, as long as it doesn't exceed. There's specifics in the CJ. If you go to the eBay standard envelope specifics thing on eBay, it tells you what the dimensions have. They can't exceed a certain thickness or whatever. See if it comes up in this. That's just a link to that page. I think you can, though, because I think before I bought those little, I forgot what they're called already, the little white envelopes that everybody uses for postcards that I have thousands of now. Yes, absolutely. The black and white Scotch ads do sell well. There's a bolo for you. Absolutely, that's true. Black and white Scotch, and they have little Scottish Terrier dogs on the covers. Yep, dogs. Speaking of which, back to the question from Jameen. Dog ads sell great. Cat ads sell great. You'd be surprised. Elephants, if there's an elephant in the room, no. If there's an elephant in an ad, there's people that collect everything. That's something you learn the more you sell ephemera. I'm often stunned by the fact that people collect certain things, but they do. There's avid collectors in just about everything you could possibly imagine. Sold me the Scotty dogs. Yep, exactly. You gonna try a TV guide? It's TV guides? Sure, absolutely. Chock full of ads. Yep. I like it, Lise. I like it. Tired of it, shows delivered but not. Yeah, I could definitely see that. So maybe it's worth the premium and shipping. Yeah, collectors collect is the term that I like to bandy about. Yeah, absolutely. Historians, another good answer. Yeah, and the two kind of are parallels of each other to an extent. But yeah, if you're lucky enough to find a buyer who maybe runs an organization, like I've told everybody, I have a Bud guy or an Anheuser-Busch guy who runs like an institution all about Anheuser-Busch. He's like a curator, and he buys everything almost everything I list under the Anheuser-Busch moniker. He'll go out and purchase from us, which is really cool. I've been really lucky. I shouldn't open my mouth because I'm about to list a ton of postcards, but I've had a lot of luck with Stand Noble. Can't think of how many. A very small handful, if that, I've had issues with. Yeah, exactly. That's the problem. Again, that's just the link if you wanted to look. Actually, still, digital images will collect buying behavior. It might, but I would. I mean, it's pure speculation on my part. If it did have a huge effect, I think it would be on a younger group of people. Again, not to pigeonhole folks, but let's be honest, especially postcards. Mark can aspire to this, but postcard, I think the print ad person typically is going to be a little bit older. That's collecting 1907 Budweiser ads. I don't know if Budweiser was 1907, but you know what I mean? Collecting a lot of these things is probably an older population. So if there is a shift, which is probably inevitable, I would imagine it would be most apparent in a younger group of people. Yep, me too. eBay standard envelope should be, and if you want to check out, there's a link. Click on that, and it kind of tells you all about the product. It's used primarily, at least with the people we talk about, with postcard sellers. It's really nice. You could ship a postcard for 64 cents for 1 ounce. It says right here, this as of November, which is when the most recent update was done, you are allowed to ship patches, stickers and decals, greeting cards, seeds, trading cards, coins and currency, postcards, and stamps via eBay standard envelope. But if you read that link, it kind of tells you all about it. It came into play, like a year and a half ago or so? Sorry, just saw that. That's right. Dogs and cats live. That is a great quote. Hi, Maria. How you doing? You're hoping you'll be able to make printed magazines more rare and valuable. That's a great point. Exactly. If the push goes to digital media, just like music with the streaming stuff, right? It's kind of spelled the end to some industries that have been around since the beginning of time. Recording industry. Although, of course, records are making a comeback. CDs have kind of always been sort of there, but they're definitely not where they were 20 years ago. Yeah, I think it's a great point. Might add to as scarcity equals value. That's another one of my t-shirts. That's, any topic, any product, scarcity equals value. The harder it is to find something, the more unique it is. Typically, it's going to increase the value of it. So if the magazines and the physical media stuff becomes less and less available or bountiful, it's going to drive the prices up. Caskets and gravestones. What about those two things, Jane? Yep. Typical print ad buyer won't be satisfied with reduction. Oh, that's a fact. I mean, and if people have any success or experience with selling reproductions of copies, let me know. But again, along with my canned thing about, might have age toning, I also have a pretty extensive verbiage that basically says all of my products are original, no reproductions of any kind. I can't imagine why a collector would want a reproduction. Unless it's just some incredibly, at least in the print ad space, but maybe with other things like a postcard, Market might be able to speak to this. If there's some like legendary postcard and or old baseball card or whatever that people dream of having and they make a reproduction, you might be able to make some money on it as long as it's clearly marked as a reproduction. But in the print ad space, I can't think of anyone who would want a reproduction. All about the real ones. You're very welcome. Check it out. Yep, print, peel, and stick, exactly. Because people dig Halloween. That's what I think. Halloween and Christmas, anything, sell all year round. Obviously, they get a little more hotter as you get closer to each of those two events. But yeah, Halloween and Christmas, just all year round. People love their Halloween. People love their Christmas. Easter, not so much. Not pooping on Easter. I'm just saying, as far as popularity goes, and as far as I guess because Halloween, speaks to people. There's more decorative properties to Halloween and Christmas than any other holiday, really. What other holidays do you go nuts and decorate for? Not many. Not a lot of Thanksgiving decorations out there. Oh, yeah? Are they identified as such, Mark? They sell well. Ahoy, hoy. Hey, what's up, Carl? How you doing? Number 2 is here. Welcome to the show, man. How you doing? Good to have you. You have thousands of Navy ship postcard prints made by a naval club you bought out, and you have all the negatives. Which is very cool. You got new watches on maybe 4 Easter eggs today, and are thinking, yeah, exactly. Like anything else, as you're up against a certain holiday, time of year, whatever you want to say, then absolutely, if you can load up on Easter's only 2 weeks away, less 2 weeks from yesterday, I think. So yeah, if you want to just kind of capitalize on Easter stuff, probably should have been up already, but get it up now and let's see what happens, right? You got 2 weeks to play with Easter stuff, Easter postcards, Easter print ads, anything that talks about Easter. Easter Parade is a famous movie with Judy Garland and Fred Astaire, and I remember I might still have it listed. I had a couple of them that I've sold, but I found print ads promoting that film, and they've sold well. So if you have that magazine, get it up. Get it up. Get it up. Call. Smells. Dawn. See, she loves Halloween postcards. A lot of people, you're not alone. People love Halloween stuff in general. Yeah, what was the smells? Oh my goodness. Canadians. These wacky Canadians. Oh, speaking of Canada, we're supposedly going to be playing in Canada this summer. More to follow when I get specifics. So if you're north of the border, you might want to come and see me. Because Canada's, let's be honest, even though it's huge, everybody lives right along the coast of, the border with the U.S. anyway. So make a trip. You have no excuse. 2 candy ads. Interesting. Correct. Absolutely, Lisa. I agree. Jelly bean ads, chocolate ads in general. Most vintage postcards are in public domain or publishers out of business. Sure. Makes sense. The older these things become, public domain becomes a factor, which unto itself might drive down values across the board of anything that falls into public domain that previously wasn't in public domain. Because if everybody has them, guess what that means? It's no longer scarce, and scarcity equals value. Commonality equals long tail. I do not know. I really don't know yet, Dawn. I'm joking, but we are supposed to be in Canada in the summer. I just don't know where yet. I'll definitely keep you posted. And all my Canadian brethren or sisterland. It should be fun. I've played in Toronto before. I've played in Montreal before. I played in Quebec before. Never been out. I would love to get out west. No offense, Dawn. And I'm not sure where number 2 is from. I'm sorry. But I'd love to get out to like Edmonton and Saskatchewan and like the west side. I'd love to see that. I've heard it's beautiful. Vancouver even. I'd love to get up to Vancouver. Not too far from all my Seattle fans and all my Oregon people. Ottawa. Okay, cool. Ontario, the most populous, what do you guys call them? Province? It's not a state. Province? That's true. That would be priceless. Gonna have my snowshoes on. Oh, print ads from Caskets of Gravestone Company sell well. Don't know that I've come across any, but I would imagine, I know that the industry as a whole, my wife formerly worked in a funeral home, and trust me, people people dig funeral ads. That's kind of funny. But yeah, there's a whole group of collectors that collect that morbid kind of stuff or death stuff or funeral tools, caskets. So I would imagine absolutely you'd fare well if you got some of those ads up if you have some. Manitoba gets shafted, is that right? And Ontario, okay, cool. It is a province, right? Am I speaking up my ear hole? Winnipeg. The Winnipeg Jets, I know a hockey team. Curious where you got Jiminy from. I was a little kid, babysitter called me Jiminy Cricket, said I looked like him. I would say so. Jiminy Cricket is my favorite Disney character. I have a Jiminy, you can never see it. Maybe I'll show you guys one day, but I have a Jiminy Cricket hanging over I have like a tiled ceiling here in the basement. And I got a Christmas ornament like 10 years ago that my wife gave me, knowing I love Jiminy Cricket. And I remember when I swear to you, it's the truth. I was trying to think of a name for the new YouTube channel because I had a Beatles one for years before this. And I looked up. So Jiminy Jiminy Cricket. I'm like, Jiminy Flip It. I thought it was a cool play on words. Everybody seemed to dig it right away. It is very unique. You got to admit, it's pretty cool. So yeah, of course, it's a play on Jiminy Cricket. But That's where I got it from. I looked up in the sky, saw him hanging there, and I said, oh, da, da, da. It was magical. It was Jiminy dust, truly. It was Jiminy dust fell upon me. There she is. What's up, Kristen? Checking in from home in Illinois. Great to have you. I'm going to be a traveling fool, Rural Squirrel, driving to South Bend, Indiana, Thursday night into Friday, driving to Lakewood, Ohio, driving to Bridgeport, Connecticut in 3 days. Provinces. Okay, cool. Thank you. Rural Squirrel, Dawn. So, yeah. But that's the first time anybody asked me about the origin of the name. I appreciate that question. I thought it was pretty obvious that it's a Jiminy Cricket reference, but maybe it's not. Yep, but that be the motivation, folks. He's literally hanging over me. If this camera I have wasn't like really well centered right now and on a huge expensive tripod, I would take it off and show you, but I'll never get it back to this perfect state of centerness. I'll take a picture. Maybe I'll do a post in the community tab. You guys can check out the motivation for the channel and the name. Going to Illinois for the eclipse. Eclipse, you say? Jackety Jack, Jackety. Jackety Jack. Don't talk back. That's your theme song, man. I just came up with your channel. Jackety Jack. Don't talk back. Take out the papers and the trash. All right, boys and girls. I guess we're pushing 8:30 already. So an hour and a half is a pretty solid number with strep throat, wouldn't you say? Anybody notice I have strep throat? Nah, I sound the same. I wouldn't have been able to speak to you yesterday, so I'm pretty proud of myself for getting through an hour and a half of rambling. And I appreciate you hanging out and rambling with me, listening to the rambling and all the questions. And to the new folks that are joining, again, welcome. Thank you very much for joining. Hope you, if you haven't subscribed yet, please do hit that subscribe button. And I'll be on later in the week for sure. We'll do some listing, some print ad listing. If anybody has any requests for a period of time, let me know. I have just about everything available to me from the 1890s to 82. So if you have your requests, submit them. Real fun show. Thank you very much, man. No problem. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm better now. I'm better. I had it. It really came to fruition at the show Saturday night. I should show you guys a picture of my throat. You'd probably pass out. It looked so bad. It looked like my wife said, "Oh my God, are you bleeding?" My throat was so red. And so anyway, I got the antibiotics, and this is only day 2, and I feel 1,000 times better. It'll go away. I'll be 100% tomorrow probably. What's up, Davis? How you doing? Ramblin' Rodeo. Sure. Ramble on. Nice to meet you as well. Thanks for coming in again. Pleasure having you. Later. Well, you guys are already signing up before I did, but that's okay because I've kind of been setting the tone for the wind down. I get it. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. I'll be good. Nice to see you guys all too. Good night. Real great shoe. Yes. Illinois looks like the best place. That's close for me for watching. Another meaning for your acronym? Uh-oh. Thank you very much. Yeah, I feel 80%. I feel okay. I shouldn't say that. I feel pretty dang good. But my throat's probably about 80%. So we'll try to get that up to 100 before we hit the road. A shout out to the makers of Throat Coat Tea. If anybody is not familiar with that product, I don't know exactly what's in it. There's chamomile, I think, is a component, but it's called Throat Coat. So good. I drink a cup or two before almost every show, no matter how I feel. But I've been living on that stuff for about a week now, and it really does coat your throat. It feels fantastic. Hot liquids really help with this stuff if you guys are ever unfortunate enough to get strep. But we'll get through it. Thank God for antibiotics. Whoever invented it, look it up on Google. A huge round of thanks to that gentleman or gentlelady. All right, everybody. Thanks again for coming in. I really do appreciate it. Please do leave a thumbs up if you haven't done so before you get out of here. And I'll do a post. We'll do a show towards the end of the week and do some live listing with some print ads. If you have any requests, again, you could put a so I'll put a link, or I'll put a post in the community tab on here on the channel, and you guys could just kind of leave a comment and let me know what area you're interested in if you have a specific area. If not, I'll just pick whatever and we'll do some listings. So I hope you guys have a great evening and a great week. Thanks again for coming in. Take care. Bye-bye.